Okay, next up, from Gainesville, Florida, the company is Immeresed Games. Please welcome Lindsay Tropp to the stage. I gotta tell the full story. All right, so before we get started, every once in a while we ask questions of the contestants about, what they think about moving to Buffalo. And her response back to me was, it would be nice to not have to wake up and worry about an alligator being in her pool. So I told her she doesn't have to worry about that here in Buffalo. So good luck.
Thank you. Hello, Buffalo. Currently, only 22% of graduating high school seniors are proficient in science. Our product, already skipped ahead too far on this. Our product, Title Online, empowers students to learn science through hands-on problem solving, and we use a video game to do it. So let me show you what that looks like. A student enters the game world here and does activities linked directly to science standards. For example, here she's collecting evidence to determine if this is an invasive species, engaging in an authentic problem, even building out an argument to convince the scientists to transplant it out and save the ecosystem. They also do things like building ecosystems from scratch to learn ecology, or breeding dragons to learn about genetics. Teachers have a dashboard so they can assign content as well as receive assessment data. The market is ready for this right now because of the adoption of a new set of standards, the next generation science standards, that represent a huge paradigm shift, much like Common Core was for math and reading, and mean teachers are bringing on new materials. First, we took a small portion of our gameplay as a test and launched that on its own and have that purchased by over 25,000 users. Since then, we've been focused on developing out the full product with grant support from both the National Science Foundation and the Department of Education. And now we're excited to announce that we recently launched our first semester to schools. Our business model for schools is simple, at just $10 per student per school year. We're excited about Buffalo, first because this is the region we've already been targeting. We want to work with Buffalo's diverse population to ensure that our product meets the needs of all students. Buffalo has great talent as we expand our staff from programming to support. We've already met with Buffalo Public Schools and offered our product free to all the local middle schools. Thank you. So as we close up here, we built Title Online to be an expandable platform. Right now we're building our own content, but in the future we're going to allow others to add to so we can reach our long-term goal of becoming a single video game platform where you can learn absolutely anything. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Okay, who's going to kick us off here? Ashish, please.
What are the metrics you're looking at to see if this actually works?
Yeah, well, with the NSF study, we had a pilot so far, and so for that we did a separate pre-post test. And from 1 2-hour gameplay, we actually had a 12% increase, and that was actually a test on science and engineering skills like data analysis, which is what the NGSS, the new science standards, are really about, learning much deeper and not just about content.
Deborah.
So you talk a little bit about, obviously it's a tough market to sell into, the K-12 school system. There are not many game companies that have been successful doing it, if any. What's going to make you guys different, break out, achieve real scale, and importantly, make impact on kids?
Absolutely. The first thing is that when we looked at the market, and at first I did this just as an educator, we saw that it was very fragmented and difficult for teachers to piece together. And longer form games like ours, where you have problem solving, have the better efficacy data as we know, but right now there's not much like that that can really be used in the classroom. Teachers can use that tool to assign a quest for 10 or 15 minutes and get assessment data. And so we made this much simpler for teachers to use within their classrooms, and we can build content a lot faster with a content authoring tool and a bunch of other things as well.
Great question. Woody.
Yo, Bill Maggio.
Come on, Woody, let's go.
For you to contribute now. Well, she took half my question.
Come on, Woody.
I don't get all the pain of dealing with school systems, administrators, superintendents. Why not go just direct to the consumer here? And I guess you sort of kind of answered that. So I'll ask this question. You kind of talk about a big marketplace, for content. I love that, and I love the assessment. And what about like licensing this through like a Khan Academy and a Coursera, the people that actually have the consumers? Because big need here. Like you're too nice a person to deal with school systems.
I'm going to hire a salesperson to do that for me.
Unless in Gainesville, they're different.
Okay, I think there's like 3 questions in there. So the first one for consumers. In the long run, yes, I would like to go to consumers as well. They devour content though, so that's later when we go into a platform. We want to have massive users and go freemium at that point, but we need a lot more content.
Skip freemium, but why not just start the marketplace and reward your creators now? Because I bet your teachers will do that.
We need to prove that it works and build up the
You
technology.
just tested it, 25,000 people.
That was a small portion of our gameplay, not the platform itself in terms of our content creation tools. So we want to approach that in a way that we can have the users.
Why not go to
show.
one school system, give it away for grabs across, the entire system, and that will get you all the usage you need.
I
And
would
it's already on
love-
Steam. You can leverage
Yes.
Steam, right? It's the coolest platform
Yeah,
for video
absolutely.
game distribution, if any of you else are gamers like I am.
Quite
Great modding
frankly,
community.
I would love to give it away for free right now. We're trying to prove people will pay for it, and I would need to, raise like 10 million right now off the bat to kind of support that growth if I can't prove people will pay for it right now. So I don't know if there was a
But aren't
question
you
we've skipped that you still want me to answer.
Aren't you confusing what you're testing? You want to test the concept and usage. What it'll pay for it is a secondary thing?
No, we still need
what's on
revenue streams.
What's the tip of the arrow here?
Yeah, I mean, the plan for the platform is that we'll get a revenue stream of that 30 to 50% cut from people who are selling their content, much like any app store, on our platform. So if no one will pay for it, nobody's going to come onto our platform. And we'll be able to have users first, which will solve a lot of the marketplace issues if we develop a good marketplace of users before we reach that group as well. I feel like you have like 3 more questions somewhere in there, but let me know if there's one you still want answered.
Welcome to the last 24 hours of our life.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Precise.
That's a compliment.
We're Buffalo.
Is it?
Yes,
You're from Gainesville.
yes.
Convince me.
I won't have to lose 2 weeks of development every year fleeing the state from a hurricane.
Got a point.
But what
that
jobs are
One
you
quick
going to
question.
bring here?
10 seconds. Wow. Victoria, you got something? No? We're good? Any other questions? Great job.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.